Well, hello there, friends and family. Hope everybody's doing fine here on April 1st on a Wednesday. I wanted to come out today and talk to you about a few things and give you a current update of where we're at. I sure hope you're following on this, because I don't think any of us thought we'd be where we're at today. Not only in the world, but in America. Now, with all that said, I'd like to go over the numbers real quickly, which are continuing to rise, and of course that's not a good thing. But then we're going to switch this over to something more positive. And when I came out here today to talk to y'all, worldwide.
Hey, am I right?
Yep, I'm fine.
Okay,
How you doing?
okay. I was just checking. I haven't seen you there. We'll see if it's all right.
We're doing great. Stay home.
Huh?
Stay home.
I didn't say what? What'd you say?
I said stay home.
Oh, I got the baby, grandbaby, trying to get her to sleep with the windows up. I'm not getting out.
Okay.
I'm just riding around. Will it be all right to ride around for her to go to sleep?
Well, it is, but you never know what's going to happen while you're out.
We don't get out. I don't go shopping. I don't get out.
Okay.
Thank you. You have a good day. God
Take
bless
care.
you.
God bless you. I'm sorry for that. I actually had one of my viewers that's local here see me out here doing this video for you. And my friend and family, of course all of y'all on the internet. But let's get back to the numbers. Because like I said, when I came out here this morning, and this is around noon, worldwide we were at 912,000 cases. And I'm sure by the time I edit this video and upload it, we'll be over 1 million. And we were also at 45,540 deaths. Now, that's bad. And here in the US where I live, we're now the world leaders for COVID-19 cases. And the death rate just keeps increasing. And now we're above 200,000 cases. In fact, I think it was 205,000 cases when I came out. 4,516 deaths. That's unbelievable. Now, the majority of those cases, or not the majority now, there's over 75,000 now, are in New York State with at least 1,941 deaths. That's just so sad. And I wanted to watch Governor Cuomo's press briefing today before I came on out. Now here in my state, things are nowhere near that bad, but they're increasing. Especially when I think about back on the 16th of March, was the very first time we had our first case. And now we got 1,013. We didn't have any deaths back then. And now we have 26. Of course, here in my county, we have 13 cases. Don't seem like much, but we're a very sparsely populated county. I think when I looked here a while back, I think we're only 34,000 people. In a fairly large county, we're very rural. But we also have one death. But The majority or all of the cases are about 42 miles north of me up in Alex City, as well as the death. Don't make it any better than that. But this is my 15th day self-isolating here on my little half-acre of ground, my little old white house under the oaks. And like I said, you can see a viewer who was driving by and saw me out here. And we had a conversation, and I'm going to include that in the video, even though the camera angle won't be all so great. Just have to forgive that. Sometimes, you know, life isn't about the best video. It's not always about presenting yourself in the best appearance. As you can see, having shaved day. Now I'm a little bit scruffy. I actually got a sweaty on today. And the reason being for that is, you know, we've been up in the high 70s, low 80s, then we got up in the mid 80s, and we almost reached 90 degrees, which is exceptionally warm for springtime. And hopefully you can hear me well, because today's rather windy as I sit up here on the hill, North Hill, on my little half-acre ground. What I would like to stress right now is something we can all easily do, and I know a lot of Americans are finding this just so extremely difficult. It's not fair. It's like being in prison. There's just been all kinds of crap on the internet. It's not any of that. The least we can do, and here again, this is not for essential employees. This is not for people that absolutely have to work. This is for people that can do this. Because the more people who can do this simple one act, and that act is stay home. That one simple act can help save a life. Save your own. Save a life, and not only yours, but your family. It can also help reduce the burden on our healthcare system. So I think that's essential advice. And whether you want to listen to it or not, that's totally up to you. But another reason I wanted to come out here today and talk to you, I'm going to start working on my yard again, and God knows I let that go. And the reason being, of course, I dove head deep into investigating, researching, and tracking this coronavirus. Why? Well, not only to protect myself, but to protect my family, protect my friends. Try to find a way, if any way was humanly possible, to prevent infection, and if infected, what we could do to survive it. Now I know how to keep from being infected now. Just stay home. As far as surviving it, I'm not real sure just what it takes to do that. I do know increasing vitamins, minerals, and herbs to boost your immune system definitely can help. It definitely can't hurt. But something I've been seeing here in the last few days, especially on the internet and videos coming out, I think we all saw initially, about 2 to 3 weeks back, depending on what area of the country you were in, panic buying set in. And of course, first thing to go, for whatever silly reason that was toilet paper. But after that, the grocery aisles started to go bare on essential items and staples. And those staples were long-term food, such as, you know, rice, beans, canned goods, box goods, prepared meals, anything dry, anything canned that could be put up for, you know, a month, 2 months, or longer. The problem being now, 3 weeks into this, is the store shelves have not recovered in so many places. Because I keep seeing videos come out showing me that the shelves are either still bare or very, very slimly stocked. And even if they have some stock, the limits now are getting more extreme. With all that said, I thought, well, I hope nobody at this time is at a place at their home or lives where they're short on food. The more I thought about that last night, I thought, well, you know, not everybody's able to go out and buy, stock their pantries, and prepare for what now. Look, President Trump says we should all stay home, practice social distancing till the end of April. That's another 4 weeks. That's a lot of food. Not just one person, but think about it, family of 2, 4. That's a lot of food. A lot of people are doing good based on what they make and their financial situation, where, you know, they may only have 2, 3, 4 days of food in their home. And then there's so many people that waited. They didn't go out and buy anything, and then of course the panic buyers basically bought everything out. And the problem with that was everybody would like to say, you know, that was a large portion of America. It really wasn't. Initially, that was probably only 5% of America. And then, as the numbers grew, the situation got worse, that ramped up to 10, 15, 20% of America. But a lot of people were left without. And we still are not recovering. I truly think we will, but I also know, based on my reporting of food production last year, the 2019 crops, some of the stuff was going to be in short supply, if not shortages this year anyway. Those being canned vegetables, frozen vegetables, rice, beans, and even wheat. And if you don't believe that, then go back and watch my videos I did on Food Crisis 2019, Food Crisis 2020. And as always, I provide the data, and I provide you the links so you can go take a look at it yourself. So it's not like I make it up, folks. And here again, the food crisis, and diving into our food production in America, was for my own benefit and for my friends and family. Just like diving into this coronavirus has been. And I haven't given up on it. I'm still digging every trail I can in hopes of finding a way that you and I and my friends and family here can make it through this. But like I said, I gotta start getting this here place in shape again. I've let it go again. It wasn't my intent. Had big plans for the winter. Of course, the weather kept me away from that for a while. And then the coronavirus descended upon us, and I didn't worry about it anymore. But we need to be taking this time, for those of us who can stay at home and need to stay at home, and those are people with underlying health conditions, regardless of their age, and those are people who have underlying health conditions and are seniors or just the elderly. Those are the groups that have the highest mortality rate involved with this coronavirus. It's just a fact. So, I thought it'd be good to take you along with me. Not that I need it now. Now, I'm about to use the last of my lettuce. So some of what we'll be showing you today, I could definitely use to make a fresh salad. Before we head off and do this, I'm always reluctant to show people foraging and wild foods on video. You see, I don't want people taking this video, going out in their yards and checking stuff out. What I want you to do with this video is get inspired, to get educated, to know what is available in your yard. And if you don't have a yard, maybe it's in an alley, maybe it's on the side of the road, maybe it's on the edge of the forest or in the forest. If you're in an apartment, even that apartment building, checking around the streets and that, you'll be surprised what you can find out there that time you could actually eat to help you survive the situation. And you might think, well, I'm not going to need that. Well, we've got states now putting stay-in-place orders, stay-at-home orders, like Virginia, to June the 30th. We've got experts saying this may be another 6, 8 to 10 weeks. Nobody really knows. We've got Dr. Fauci and Deborah Birx saying things like, if we don't stay home, we don't practice the social distancing guidelines, anywhere from a minimum of 100,000 people to 240,000 people could die. I know that's unbelievable, but that's what they said yesterday during the White House press brief. And that's if America gets the idea to start doing this, which I can tell you, right now here in my local area, we still haven't got that idea, as you could see. But we need to be. So let me switch this old GoPro around. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me just talk and staring at my old face. And let's see what's out here that I got going on that I could possibly eat should the time ever come. Now, the first thing I'd like to talk about is the bushes that you're looking at in front of my house, and I'm sure they don't look like much, but you'd be surprised. Oh, Magoo here, he's behind me. Magoo, what you doing, buddy? You know I love you too. You know I do. We're talking about food, so of course that got you, right? Now I'll get you some more food in a little bit. You'll be fine, little buddy. So what we're looking at here, what we're looking at is what they call high bush blueberries. Now I planted these about 8 years ago, and I want you to look just how loaded up with blueberries they are this year. You see that? Can you look up in there? And it's just not this one bush. It's every one of them. Let's go over here and look at here. You seeing that? There are literally thousands and thousands of blueberries, even on these new ones. Hey there, Magoo. Now there's about 8 of them here, and I'll probably have, oh God, who knows how many thousands of blueberries, as you can see. And they're high in antioxidants, anthocyanins, I think they call. Great for the immune system. And I started this 8 years ago because my thought was I'd start doing edible landscaping. And I sort of got away from it because work sort of got in the way. But now I know it's going to be hard to do this now with the coronavirus all around us, but it is something you can do if we ever get back to normal, and I do think at some point in time we will. Think about it. Start putting things in on your place, if you haven't done so, that will not only look ornamental, but will feed you and your family. But while we're here looking at these blueberries, I want to show you another thing. And what you're looking at right now is a vine. Now this is a wild greenbrier right here. And that's why I caution all of y'all, learn this. Hopefully you can get with a local expert. And I know that's going to be tough too now because of social distancing, the coronavirus and everything. But this is totally edible. They say it tastes like asparagus. And I've ate it before. All you gotta do, snap off the young, tender growing tip. Right there. Totally edible. Now the rest of the vine will be woody. And it's also got some fairly nice, sharp thorns on it. But this particular part is totally edible. The reason I caution you is you got to be dead sure what you're doing when you're out, whether it's in your yard, the edge of a forest, in a forest, about eating something, because if you're not 100% sure, at the very least you can make yourself very sick. At the very worst, you can kill yourself. But I know what this is because I've been trying to eradicate it here around the house for about 25 years. And I must say, it does taste a little bit like asparagus, but not a lot. Is it yummy? Yeah. Still has a little bit of that greenish wild taste to it. But it's way better if you take it, put your little butter in the pan, saute it up with some garlic, some onions, salt and pepper. It is delicious. That's just one thing. And trust me, it'll keep growing. This stuff is almost unstoppable. Another thing under the ground is a rhizome or tuber. That's what makes it so resilient and hard to get rid of. Unless you dig that thing up, and of course you leave even a small piece of it, it'll keep coming back. But that is also edible. I've never ate it, so I can't tell you. But I have heard and read Native Americans did. And they would actually slice it all up, dry it, shred it, pound it up, and would make like a meal or flour out of it. And then make some type of flatbread. Personally, like I said, I've never done that. But remember, greenbrier, it's edible. But there are other vines, like Virginia creeper and poison ivy. Now both of those are woody vines. And they don't grow nowhere near at the rate greenbrier does. So that's one good indicator. Here's another one here, and you can just see. It goes all the way up. Probably tomorrow, next day, it'll about be to the top of the roof. But it ain't gonna make it, because after I finish this video, I'll snip it at the base. Now this is my south side garden bed. It's looking pretty sad shape. Of course, every spring, this whole thing is full of daffodils. And that's what you're seeing here. And then what I do is I let these die down. I let all the tops yellow. And then I cut the tops off so I don't starve out the bulbs. At that point, I weed it up and I get it ready to plant something for summer. And over years past, I've had peppers in it, cherry tomatoes, yellow crookneck squash, okra, stuff of that nature. But there is something that's growed up this spring. And you're seeing it right here. And this is called cleavers, or sometimes called old lady's bed straw. Now this is easy to identify, mostly because it's like nature's Velcro. This will stick to anything, see? How it sticks to my sweaty there. It'll stick to your pants, your socks, when you feel it. Plus you can see how the leaves are rosette. Now the parts, and this is gone to where it's going to flower. And not so tasty anymore. But the tips are still tasty. You can break one off. And you can throw them in salads and eat them. Now, it's hard to say what they taste like. To me, they sort of taste like romaine with a little bit of a bite. Now what we're looking at up by my front driveway near the road, near the old mailbox right there, is clover. And this particular variety happens to be white Dutch clover. Some people just call it white clover now, but it's actually white Dutch clover. And it's fairly common. And you can see the white flowers. These are edible. In fact, every part of this clover is edible. Here again, the flowers can be picked and they can be added to salads. Or, as I sometimes do out as I'm walking in the springtime, you just munch down on them yourself. Now the reason I'm not giving you a lot of background into all these things as far as vitamins, minerals, and that is I want you to do the research. I want you to go online, do some work, and look up the benefits to all this, the advantages. Now, even the leaves are edible as well. Now, the leaves, you're going to notice a pattern. And first you're going to see the 3 clover leaves. Every once in a while you'll find a 4-leaf clover. But you can see there's a little lighter margin there towards the petal or the stem of the leaf. That's clover leaf. Now there is something that looks just like clover. Now there is red clover. We call it crimson clover down here, which is actually supposed to be more nutritious and more flavorful than this white clover. So now what we're looking at is called wood sore. You'll find this a lot of times in shady spots. And it looks a lot like clover, doesn't it? Hello, Magoo. But you'll notice you don't have that pattern about 2/3 of the way down the leaf. That was slightly lighter, almost off-white to grayish white, making a pattern. Now wood sore, perfectly edible. It's great in salads, and it sort of has like a lemony citrus tang to it. But you don't want to eat a whole lot of it because it does have oxalic acid in it and can cause you some digestive problems and intestinal problems. So be careful of it. But like I say, it's got that there tangy, lemony citrus taste to it. And often, when I'm out here in the yard in the early spring, I'll grab me some of it munch on while I'm walking around. As you can see, walking around with Magoo here. Come on, Magoo. Come on up. He just loves me. Not sure why. And I don't want, and don't beat me up about how the yard looks. I know how it looks. And y'all know the reasons why. But the reason I wanted to walk around here is I wanted to show you a few things. Just in case. This should go on for a while. And food, for whatever reason, gets a little slim for you and your family. No need of starving. But like again, I want to caution you. Don't take the video and go out there and start making a salad. I want to inspire y'all to get educated, get knowledgeable, so, should things continue, you can do this too. Now what you're looking at is a very large elderberry plant. It's just all throughout there. The only problem I have with it, me and the birds, we have to fight each other just to get some elderberries. And they normally win out. But you'll see new ones coming up all around it here, out from the base of it. Let's just say it got to the point where our country and society was at a state of collapse. Would I care about the yard? Would I be mowing it and keeping it up anymore? No, I wouldn't. I'd just let it go back natural, and I'd let it grow some wild food. That's my thought. I'm sure in the comments, y'all will give me your thoughts as always. Now, for whatever reason, and I didn't used to have this until I started feeding the birds and having all the birds in the world, which you all heard on my videos. And this is a variety of wild lettuce. And you got to be careful with wild lettuce, because there are things that look similar to it. Now, wild lettuce also contains opioids, and the Native Americans used it as a sedative, and even would concentrate it and make an opiate painkiller. And what I'm told, should you digest enough of it, that you could overdose on. Not sure how much that would take. But this is the lettuce that a lot of our modern lettuce started from. And you want to get the young, small leaves in the crown. The big tough outer leaves, they're not too tasty. Now, if you want to cut down the amount of opioid in it, you have to boil it. You boil it once, you change the water out, and then you boil it again, and then you drain the water out, and it's ready to eat. But I'd still advise caution. And I still advise getting with somebody local in your area that's done this before. Another thing we have here on my little half acre, we have here some nice new wild grape leaves. And here again, they too are tasty. But you have to be careful. Here again, you can make the wrong decision. But these can be added to a salad. And they can also, and have been used, mature leaves to put in with pickles to keep them nice and crisp. One thing I forgot to add, here's some more of that wood sorrel. The best way to recognize wood sorrel to make sure you're not making a mistake is wait till it blossoms. It will have a yellow flower, not a white. That's why I always wait until it blossoms too, so I know for sure. I've been doing this a while. And I don't know how these grow in other areas, but this is, of course, honeysuckle. Unfortunately for us here in the south, this is Japanese honeysuckle. It's quite invasive. But all these nice little flower blossoms, there's not a child in the south that hasn't bit the end of these off and sucked the honeydew out of them. It's so sweet. And the blossoms, totally edible. So yes, you can take these and add them to that wild salad too. And if you get them this time of year, while they're still young and tender and fresh, they have a nice little sweet touch to them. Rather yummy. What you doing, Magoo? Hiding in the bushes? He just won't. He knows he's gonna try to jump out and get me. And people have asked me in the past why I don't grow blackberries. Well, that's because you can go about anywhere in the south and find blackberries. And I've got not only blackberries growing there in the bamboo forest, but I got something else here. This down here. See them? These are what they call dewberries. And they'll look a lot like blackberry. The blossoms look similar. The berries look similar, except they're quite smaller. And they don't grow on upright canes. They trail along the ground. But they're just as yummy and tasty as blackberries. And as you can see, there's quite a few growing on this hillside here, on the north side of my property. And that's sort of why I've been holding off trying to keep from mowing. My hope was to let some of these ripen on up, which ain't gonna be much longer, and I could pick them, throw them in the freezer. Now also up here on my north hillside, you're going to see a lot of thistle. Some of it's Canadian thistle, some's another type. And that, and the birds, they'll just pick away at it. And they'll eat those seeds right there. But the entire plant's edible for humans. Not sure how you go about it, because there's some ferocious looking spikes in those leaves. But what I have researched and been told is for us to eat, you cut the stalks and you peel them and you steam or boil them, and that's what you and I would eat. But I'm also wondering, even though I can't imagine how many thistle seeds it would take, if you couldn't take these seeds, somehow get them away from all that fluff, and grind those up and make flour. I'm thinking possibly Native Americans may have done that. I gotta check into that more. And like I said, here you can see some wild blackberries coming up. See how upright the cane is? But right below it, you can see some dewberries trailing along the ground in the grass. And there's one of them right there. That's about the size they'll be. That's a little bit smaller than the black bear. I'm telling you, these are yummy. Magoo, kitty, 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 come on. Come on. You wanna come over see me? Magoo. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Come on. Come on. Here he comes. Come here. I mean, he's my little buddy. He just loves me to death. I love him too. Don't I, Magoo? He has followed me every bit of the way as we've searched the yard for possible wild edibles, just in case we need them. We don't right now. But as most of you know, for those of us that are most acceptable to dying from this, we're going to be self-isolating a while. Possibly till late 2021 or possibly longer. So it's just something I wanted to inspire y'all. You see, I want to inspire, bring a little bit of positivity to y'all. And plus you can get outside, get you a little sunshine, a little bit of that vitamin D going on, get you a little bit of hope. It's spring now in the south, and hopefully it'll soon be spring in your areas too, and in your countries. And with spring, as we most know, springtime is the renewal or rebirth of life on our planet. That's why I look at it every year, and I think this year that's even so much more profound. With springtime coming on, rebirth of our country, our nation, our people, and our planet. So y'all, I just want to do something today other than going over all the negativity and all the bad in the world and in our country here in the U.S. and go over what's looking good this year. Spring's come, especially here in the deep south. Like I said, soon to come in your area too, or your country, I hope. If you're in the northern hemisphere, if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're about to go into winter. But take this time that you have, especially if you're at home, to learn, to educate yourself, pick up new skills. Now's the time. You just never know when you'll need them. Did any of us ever really think, except maybe for a very small percentage, that we would ever face this? I don't think so, because I surely didn't. Hello, Cleo. You're looking better. But it's upon all of us now, and we have to deal with it the best we can. And one way to deal with that is to better ourselves, become better as a people, find our humanity, continue to prepare for what we may be faced. And I know in a past video, people, several, not too many, said, you know, I'm suffering from depression. I'm not suffering from depression. I'm a realist. I take a look at things, and they are what they are. Should I not be saddened by them? Well, I think anybody who's not saddened by the current situation in the world and their countries doesn't have a heart in their bodies. But I am saddened by it. I'm saddened by the great loss we're seeing that continues to grow each and every day. Am I giving up? Oh no. I have no plans on dying from this. I'm well prepared in all ways. Am I over prepared? No. I wish I could say that, but I'm not. And the reason I'm not over prepared is because I never contemplated this exact scenario happening. But now that this has happened to the world, you can bet from this point forward, this will define all those that live and survive this. It will define them. It will redirect their thoughts and their practices for the rest of their lives, just like the Great Depression did for my great-grandparents and my grandparents and my parents who were born and grew up during it. Just like World War II did for those who went to fight and survived that and returned to their countries. This will be this generation's defining moment, and forevermore it will form their way forward, whether they like it or not. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got something out of it. I hope it educated you a little bit, but more so, I hope it inspired you to learn more. Get you some books. Get with others. Hopefully somebody locally. And learn what's available in your area to forage and gather as wild foods, should the case ever befall you that it's required. And one word of caution, and this is especially true about mushrooms: don't you do it unless you're 300% sure, and unless you've been trained by a local expert, because there ain't no take back if you choose wrong. They will kill you. That's why I didn't go over that, and why I'm not going to take you into the big woods when I go more mushroom foraging, because you can make a mistake far too easily and die from it, and I feel bad about that. So y'all, until I see you on the next video, like always, truly mean it, I want y'all to be taken care out there. Take all precautions you can. Stay as safe as you possibly can. And I want to tell all the essential workers out there, the doctors and nurses, nurses assistants, orderlies, everybody involved in our hospital and healthcare system, all the truckers, grocery store clerks, stockers, restaurant workers, anybody out there right now working to keep the deliveries going, America fed, America healthy, and America well. I salute you. And don't you think for a minute I don't bend the knee and my head every night and pray for your safety and your ability to return home healthy, because I do. So y'all, God bless each of us, and may God bless all of us and our families in this trying time. With that, I'm going to say later and goodbye for now. Cleo, you're looking better. Everybody was so worried about you. They had all kinds of things to say about you. And we did some of them. And you're looking better. You want to say thank you? Cleo, say thank you. You want to say thank you? She's starting to look better. I think she'll be fine. Take time for her hair to grow in. Come on, Cleo. thank y'all for your pointers and your advice on how to take care of my little kitty. And she says thank you too. She is a sweetie too, just like Magoo. Later all.